Hello everyone, what's up? It's me again, Junkmaster 3, and it's time for the top 5 of the month of April. I know I'm a little bit delayed with this specific video, but that's what happens sometimes. But yeah, these are the 5 best films that I watched for the very first time during the month of April. So yeah, let's begin right away. First up, we have at number 5, we have a film. I mean, this could be a little bit weird because this is Dracula from 1931, and then you might ask yourself, well, haven't you already seen that? It's a classic Bela Lugosi film. But this is actually like the Spanish version, which I believe was made in Mexico, I believe. It doesn't say Mexico, but apparently I think this was made like around the same sets as well as the original, or like the Bela Lugosi version. So it's sort of like the same set, so it's very similar in that regard. I actually just thought that this was a just like the original like Bela Lugosi classic, but with like Spanish language instead. But this is actually its own thing, you could say. So, and this is not too bad either. I mean, obviously it's not as good as Bela Lugosi's Dracula, but this is still very entertaining, and especially it's. I mean, it's very similar, but it's not the exact same film. It's not really like the exact same like scenes over and over again. So if that makes sense. So this still is entertaining for what it is, but I mean, don't expect a brand new film like a really tense, different type of storyline, because it's quite similar even at that. So yeah. But yeah, Dracula from 1931, the Spanish version. I'm just gonna point that out so you're not confused about that. Then at number 4, we have a film called Mishima from 1985 by Paul Schrader. Now, this is a film I've never seen before, obviously, because it's in this damn list. Sorry. But this is apparently like either based or inspired by true events, because I mean, it seems like there's so many different stories about this specific like person that was a real person, but there was a little bit sort of like a debate as to what really was going on at the time. And it's basically about this guy, and he's like tired of the whole regime and stuff like that, and he wants to bring some older like leadership back or something. It's a very confusing film for someone like us, the Westerners in general, to fully understand the whole background to this film, I feel like. So and apparently this was very controversial in its home country of Japan, because I think it is, as of today, I think this is still banned in Japan, which is a little bit interesting. But yeah, this is a very character driven film, and very like acting based film, if you get what I mean. So I would say, I mean, both, I mean, characters and the acting in this film is just spectacular. I think it's a little bit too long for its own good. It's almost like 2 hours long, I believe. So, and I think they probably could have shortened this down at least like 15 minutes or 20 minutes or so. So, but I mean, in general though, Mishima is a good film. So yeah, there you have it, number 4. Then you might ask yourself, well, why did you pick this one on your number 3? You actually think this is better than Mishima? Now, this is a film which obviously is, I mean, this is so 80s. That's probably the reason why I enjoyed it so much. So at number 3, we have a film called Let's Get Harry from 1986. And I think it's mainly because of the people involved in this project, because you have Tom Wilson, who is probably most famous for the Back to the Future films. And you also have Michael Schifling. I don't know, kind of pronounce his name, but I think this was one of the last films he appeared in before he retired from the acting altogether. And he was also in 16 Candles and Vision Quest. And you also have Gary Busey in there as well, and Robert Duvall. So it's a really good cast in general, and it's quite similar to the Linda Blair film Night Force from 1987, I believe. So it's basically about these group of people. They really want to rescue their friend because he's been kidnapped by, I believe it's like some sort of like terrorists or like drug smugglers, like down in South America. So they want to save him basically. So it's lots of like almost like jungle-esque type of environments as well, which I really appreciate as well. I know I've been talking about that for so many times in some of my videos, that I really have a soft spot for some of those films that takes place out in the absolute middle of nowhere, like in forest areas and whatnot. So yeah, but Let's Get Harry is a really entertaining action film, I would say. So yeah, from 1986. Let's Get Harry at number 3. And at number 2, we have a Japanese film once again. This is from the 70s, and it's the film called Sex and Fury from 1973. Now, I went into this film with a little bit of like low expectations because a friend of mine told me that this was a really misleading film, not misleading film, but apparently it was not as like action packed or like anything like that he expected it to be, because he just told me that it was lots of like just card game things going around in this film, and the way he described it, it just really didn't sound like my type of film. But this film, I think, is really entertaining. Once again, this sort of like a revenge story, you could say, and I can totally see some similarities with the Kill Bill films a little bit, you can say. I mean, it's a very weird comparison like that, but I have a feeling that Quentin Tarantino is probably a big fan of this film as well. But yeah, I mean, this is a good film. I mean, not as action packed as some of you might think. So you don't go into this film expecting a full blown action film. But there's so many entertaining sequences. The cinematography is amazing. The acting is great for the most part. There's actually a Swedish actress in this film. She's probably most famous for playing what's that film called again? Thriller: A Cruel Picture. Christina Lindberg is in this film, and her. I mean, this is weird to say because obviously I can't speak Japanese myself, but the way she speaks Japanese sounds really weird, and her English isn't really that good either, to be fair. But so I think she's probably like the weakest point about this particular film. I do like her character, but I just don't really like her acting very much, if that makes sense. So, but yeah, Sex and Fury from 1973. If you do like some of those films from this era, like from Japan, you're probably gonna love this film. So. Yeah, you just don't expect a full-blown action film with this film. This is way more of a, once again, more of a character-driven film, I would say. So yeah, Sex and Fury from 1973. And at number one, we have a film. This is one of the very few films that I have seen this year, which I've actually given a 10 out of 10. And it's the Michael Mann film called Thief from 1981. And damn, I mean, James Caan's performance in this film, I mean, I think I've said, like in some previous video I made, that I am not a very big fan of James Caan. I think he's a good actor, but I feel he's a little bit overrated. But man, oh man, in this film, I mean, his performance in this, if he wasn't even like nominated for an Oscar for this role, I just can't understand that, because his performance in this is just, his acting in this film is a masterpiece, if that makes sense. So it's sort of like this crime heist type film. It's basically about James Caan. He's involved in some like shady affairs and whatnot, and he is about to do one more heist before retiring, and all hell breaks loose basically, and everything goes to smithereens basically, if you get what I mean. So, but yeah, I mean, this film is great. I mean, you just watch this film just based on James Caan's performance. I mean, if you don't like his performance in this, I don't really know if we even live on the same planet. But yeah, that's just my personal opinion. So I don't want to spoil anything else on that. When it comes to the storyline, this is definitely a film you should just sit down and enjoy and watch and appreciate. So I don't want to say too much else about the storyline. So, but anyway, that's it for the top 5 of the month for the month of April. Next video, I am not really totally sure what the next video is going to be all about, to be fair. Maybe another horror review. I've not made a horror review in quite some time actually, so I think I'm probably gonna prioritize that. And I also have at least 2 different more. I'm not really sure if you've seen those videos, but there was like years ago I made like a series about my top 10 horror films from each year in the 80s, like from 1980 up to 1989. So I'm thinking of making a similar list like that for the 90s and the 70s as well eventually. But I just feel I need to watch a little bit more films from those eras that were like that, those decades in general. But anyway, that's it for this specific video. Hope you enjoyed. Like the video, subscribe, do whatever you want. I mean, I don't force anyone to subscribe if they don't want to. I just basically make these videos because I think it's just so fun to interact with other people and hear their opinions about movies in general. So yeah, but anyway, hope you enjoyed this particular video and see you next time. Bye bye.